your dreams of freedom, because to save our own skins, we're willing to make a deal with your slave masters. Alexander Hamilton said, a nation which can prefer disgrace to danger is prepared for a master and deserves one. Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? Well, Nikita Khrushchev has told his people he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side, he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better read than dead. Or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools, and our honored dead who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay. There is a point beyond which they must not advance. This is the meaning, in the phrase of Barry Goldwater, peace through strength. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn we're spirits, not animals. And he said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
I don't know why I look like this. There we go. Well, apparently StreamYard has updated. And so the original intro I had, I cannot access it anymore unless I give them money. So I found another one and they can all fuck off. Anyways. So hello. Since I've been feeling spicy today, I wore my spicy shirt. Anywho, I hope everybody's doing okay today. Well, the world's a mess. Everything's falling apart. So that's why I'm here. Bring it to your attention in case you missed anything. So let's see. Where do we start? Share screen. At least they're not charging me for that yet. Fuckers. I was hoping you would like it, actually. A little bit of a hairball there, sorry. All right. Yes, we'll start with this. So this is from 3 days ago because I was going to live stream like 3 days ago, and then I was just like, fuck it. Anywho, an imposter uses AI to impersonate Rubio and contact foreign and U.S. officials. God, I would love to have seen that. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this guy, he's dead in the eyes. Like, we covered this in another live stream, the progression of Marco Rubio from when he was, like, running for office until, like, he sold his soul to the deep state, and now he looks dead behind the eyes. So, he still apparently has his soul in a mason jar somewhere under his handler's desk, I guess. Anyway, the State Department is warning U.S. diplomats of attempts to impersonate Secretary of State Marco Rubio and possibly other officials using technology driven by artificial intelligence. According to two senior officials, the cable sent last week to all embassies and consulates. Sounds so old-fashioned to say a cable was sent, doesn't it? Like, I think we always kind of worried AI was going to do some fucked up shit, but impersonating political officials is kind of funny. Although low-key could also end up causing a war by accident, so kind of concerning. The warning came after the department discovered that an imposter posing as Rubio had attempted to reach out to at least 3 different foreign ministers, a U.S. senator, and a governor, according to the July 3rd cable, which was first reported by the Washington Post. The recipient of the scam message, which were sent by text, signal, and voicemail, were not identified in the cable, a copy of which was shared with the Associated Press. Now, it makes me wonder if this actually happened, because I would love to know what was actually said in these messages. Because what if it was Marco Rubio and he's just had a fit of conscience and, is trying to, repent for the stuff he's done and sort of spilling the tea, and they're like, nope, that was an AI thing. It wasn't real. Like, I kind of wonder. Because, half the time we're not getting told, actually more than half the time we're not getting told the truth. But I thought I was amused by it, so I thought I'd share that bit with you. So, on to the next mess. Now, I don't know if y'all have heard about BRICS or not, but basically, it's something that Russia and a few other countries have signed on to do, and I think it's something that's supposed to basically, I think, kind of just destabilize the central banking system, which has been this, cause of a lot of our fucking problems, really. Like, if you haven't gone down that rabbit hole, you probably should look at that. Like the start of the central banking system, those who were against it, some of them died in the Titanic, some really weird shit. You should probably check that out. But anyway, so BRICS, is undermining U.S. interests. Trump will respond. Well, boy, I think this is actually kind of cool because, you know what? It may be scary, but maybe a new way is necessary. But let's see what they say. U.S. President Donald Trump views the BRICS alliance as a growing threat to American interest. Probably not the people, it's probably the government that it's a threat to. And has pledged to take all necessary steps to ensure the United States is fairly treated on the world stage. Speaking at a press briefing, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, delivered a firm message on BRICS summit held in Rio de Janeiro, where the leaders from Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and 6 new member nations gathered for a strategic talk. The president feels, generally speaking, that BRICS is seeking to undermine the interests of the United States. It is the president's utmost responsibility to put the interests of the United States first. Bull fucking shit. We've seen him put some other country first before America. They just love saying America first when really it's not. Like, he has added on to being the deep state. It may have got rid of some, because it's always like, drain the swamp, drain the swamp. No, they just changed out what creatures they put in that swamp. It's really what they did. She said that Trump is closely monitoring. Sorry, it's a little dry in here. She said that Trump is closely monitoring the 17th BRICS Summit, which for the first time included Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the United Arab Emirates, and Indonesia, signaling a growing influence of the bloc on global economic and political affairs. So the UAE, Indonesia, Iran. I think Iran's an interesting choice. And this BRICS thing has been going on for a while now. Actually, yeah, just for the fuck of it, let's see when this started, shall we? Let's see. Because a lot of times wars are started because they're trying to prevent change. So let's see. When did BRICS start? Let's go see that. Oh, 2009. I didn't know that's when it got started that long ago. Huh. Interesting. BRIC was originally a term coined by the British economist Jim O'Neill, later championed by his employer Goldman Sachs. Well, usually that's not a good start to anything. Let's see an overview real quick. So Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, UAE. The idea of BRICS-like group can be traced back to Russian foreign minister. I cannot fucking pronounce that. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see, in September 2010, they joined the organization, which then renamed BRICS, and attended the third BRICS summit in 2011. Huh. Interesting. Huh. Ah. Let's see. He does not perceive these countries growing as growing stronger. He just perceives them as trying to undermine the United States, and that's not okay with him, no matter how weak or strong a country may be. Well, I mean, if a country's not, these countries aren't very strong, and they're not growing stronger, it seems odd that he would waste his time worrying about it. And he doesn't see these countries as growing stronger. Iran, they're trying to keep Iran from growing. Egypt's kind of Russia, I don't know. It's gonna be hard to stop Russia. I think they're probably stronger than they're admitting on here, to be honest. But the president issued a warning to nations aligning with what he called anti-American policies promoted by BRICS, making clear that his administration will not tolerate efforts to sideline Washington on the global stage. That sounds like some fucking narcissist shit, honestly. He wants all the nations to align with his American policies. Oh, I think that can fuck off a little bit, In a post shared on Truth Social, Trump stated that any country aligning itself with the anti-American policies of BRIC will face an additional 10%, 10% tariff on goods. Well, last I checked with his tariffs, we end up paying for the tariffs, by the way. So, yeah. So I guess he's going to charge us more money if they upset him. That makes lots of sense, sure. Any country align themselves with the anti-American policies of BRIC will be charged. Okay, yeah, it said this. I don't know why it said it up here and it said it down here. There will be no exceptions to this policy. Thank you for your attention on this matter. Oh, fuck off. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Next article. Oh, this fucking shit. Texas flood deaths rise to 120. Search for missing enters 7th day. And that was, let me refresh just to make sure. That was 13 hours ago. So this is absolutely horrendous. And I swear to God, it's so interesting that every time Ted Cruz is out of town, some kind of disaster hits Texas. What the fuck is that? Has anyone ever noticed that? Because that seems to be like an ongoing thing with him. Because he was in Greece when this happened. And supposedly got back as soon as he could. He was out of town last time they had a fucking serious issue. He certainly knows when to be out of town, doesn't he? At least 120 people have been found dead since heavy rainfall overwhelmed the river and flowed through homes and youth camps in the early morning hours of July 4th. Actually, shit. In my last live stream, I told y'all I thought some kind of crazy shit was going to happen on the weekend of the 4th of July. I thought it would be a false flag event. But if you believe in weather modification, one could argue this would have been it. Because, yeah, I actually did say some shit might happen, some serious shit would happen on July 4th or that weekend. 160 people are missing, 120 are dead. I'd say that's quite serious. And again, if someone is able to weaponize the weather, then one could arguably say that this is what that was. because damn. But let's see, 160 people are still missing in the county. Officials said that Thursday update. Hopes of finding any survivors have diminished with each passing day. County authorities say they haven't made a live rescue since the day of the flood. Ugh. Among the missing are 5 campers and a counselor from the Christian girls' camp, Camp Mystic, which counted at least 27 children and staff among the death toll. Kern County authorities and Texas Governor Greg Abbott have pledged to search crews will continue working until every missing person is found. That sounds hard to do. Sounds like a good promise, but it sounds hard to do, realistically. They've also faced tough questions about who is to blame for the little warning about the catastrophic flood. Well, I don't know exactly necessarily who to blame, but if I was to swing a guess, I would have my theories. Kristi Noem didn't authorize search and rescue team until 3 days after the Texas flood. So Ice Barbie here is fuck all, absolutely useless. So I'm sure somewhere in that department they may have had something to do with it. Somewhere in Washington, someone is to blame. Generally, that's how it goes, to be honest. Hey, Fry TV, how are you, sugar? So glad you're here and welcome. Let me see where it is. Oop, wrong thing. There we go. And so, in a somewhat connected story, Ted Cruz, after he comes back from his sunny vacation in Greece, is testifying and discussing floods and tragedies and damage. I don't think he should be allowed to speak, quite frankly. Senator Ted Cruz shares an emotional Texas flood story at the Senate hearing. Let's see. Ted Cruz shared emotional stories from the deadly floods in central Texas as search efforts continue for missing people. Cruz spoke to a Senate confirmation hearing for Neil Jacobs to be the next administrator of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Wow, they just randomly decided they were going to pick somebody, or did this happen just before that? They were trying to decide how they were going to get this guy in office just before that flood happened. Yeah. They say everything happens for a reason. Generally, it's because bad people do stupid shit. Generally. And what's interesting is as he discusses this sad tragedy of Texas and what happened, there is word going around that when he came back, and remember, some of the shit that's going on in Texas, they are complaining about not having enough money for the damage and to fix things and to do the stuff they need to do. They're claiming they're a bit short on that money. But it does seem there are whispers going around that Ted Cruz is lobbying for $250 billion with your pinky to the side of your mouth, $1 billion to go to Israel right after this flood happened. Like, that's wild. Like, instead of pledging that money to your community and helping, try to fix and repair all the shit that happened from that flood, you are wanting to lobby for $250 billion to go to Israel a week after the flood happened. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Wait, I think I have a little video clip for that. Where's my little video clip? Oh, here it is.
Bitch, you better be joking.
Because for real, you better be joking. What the fuck? Absolute fucking madness. Oop, I unshared the screen by accident. My bad. We'll get back to it. There we go. Okay. So yeah, $250 billion to go to Israel a week after all those people died in the flood. Jesus fucking Christ. Can't we just kill these fucking people? Jesus Christ. This is fucking insane. What is this mess right here? All right. So, next article, we'll touch on this a little bit. Obviously not as much touching as they've been doing, but whatever. All right, so this guy goes, I know the names. Former Trump advisor accuses him of suppressing key Epstein documents. Well, Fucking obviously, huh? I mean, this fucking twat, and Trump, I mean, this one, that fucking twat was like, yeah, I'll release the documents. And even at the beginning of the year, around February, they were making this weird, like, they were getting a hold of TikTok influencers and all kinds of weird shit to make some kind of big, revealing, unboxing, whatever you want to call it, of the Epstein list and all this. And then it was like a weird kind of failure to launch. And they were like, that's fucking weird. Why are these influencers holding these documents? It's supposed to be phase 1 of the fucking Epstein file release. Remember that? I do. I remember that. And now Trump's going around saying, like, oh, y'all still talking about Epstein? There's no this, there's no that. He didn't commit suicide. And it's weird. It's so weird the way Trump was trying to gaslight everybody about that. Because he was like, what, y'all still talking about him? How fucking weird is that to say? And there is actually some people who did support Trump, but they're actually starting to be like, you know what, this is the line I got to draw the line, And that's good, because I am a bit concerned about people who will absolutely blindly follow so hard that there is no line they won't cross. I feel like that's concerning. And there's quite a bit of that, actually. I'll show y'all an example of some of that silly shit. Go over here. Because I send stuff to people that I want to make sure that I can pick up later. I don't know if you can see this. So I am going to make this bigger so you can see it. Oh, shit. It's getting a little too big there. All right. So, sorry, my mouse is broken. So it's trying to scale stuff, make stuff get bigger or raise volume and stuff. All right. So this person on Twitter said, would you still support Trump if he raped your daughter? And this is after the Epstein file shit is gone to crap. And this fucking twit called Brad T. Facty, I guess. If Trump did that to my daughters, forgiving him would break me. But Jesus called me to forgive, as he forgave me. I need his strength every day. Sorry, still acting up. And it would be the hardest holy act of love I could ever have chosen. But I would still politically support him as my president. This is the kind of shit we have going on right now. These people are excusing this. They're convincing, they're gaslighting themselves into thinking they're Christians for forgiving this. No, they're hiding their cowardice behind their fake Christianity. They are. They're instead of just, coming to terms with the fact that they're fucking cowards and they're too afraid to fucking stand on business, they want to disguise it and drape it in Christianity so they can feel sanctimonious about their horrible fucking choices. These are the same fucking idiots that probably cheat on their wives and try to tell everybody the devil made him do it. No, motherfucker, you made you do it, all right? Holy shit. If anybody would sit there for even a hypothetical, and this is not even a real situation this guy's in, it's a hypothetical, and he failed so fucking miserably. If somebody asked me that question, I'd be like, I would start blasting. Like, I don't care if it's Trump that molested my kid or somebody else. I'd start blasting. I don't give a fuck who they are. Everybody around there is going to die. You know what I mean? This guy couldn't even muster that. He didn't have the balls to muster that. Man's a weakling and a coward. Anybody who would not kill somebody to protect their kid is a coward. And the fact that he would still support him as a president, are you fucking kidding? I don't want to hear any motherfuckers like this ever talk any more shit about Biden being a choma, which he is. He fucking touched on his own daughter, for fuck's sake. Fucking Biden and the fucking diaries and shit about his daughter in the shower. So he's a fucking weirdo too, and he should be beaten in the street with sticks. Absolutely. Nobody's off the hook with me. I hate everybody. Okay? But like this shit, this guy, he was talking shit about Biden being a fucking chomo and Hunter Biden being a piece of shit, which he is. Like that, no doubt there. But this motherfucker, well, it's Trump, so I would have to forgive him. You're a fucking coward. Drag this fucker to Nuremberg too. Fuck it. Fuck him too. Fuck all these people for the most part. Like, I know that's not very nice, but like, I've got no tolerance for anybody anymore. Like, I mean, all right, sorry. I got on a tangent. Oh, Alan Dershowitz. Jesus fucking Christ. fucking Alan Dershowitz. God help me. I think he was like buddies with Epstein, I think. Oh, well, hold on. Alan Dershowitz, a former constitutional advisor to President Trump, alleged in a bombshell disclosure that the key documents tied to convicted pedo Jeffrey Epstein were being withheld, not to protect the victims, but to shield the powerful figures. And I actually did say something along those lines because I figured Trump's gonna keep the list and use that paperwork to blackmail other people in the government from, doing anything to try to stop him. Like if he wants to pass this or pass that, they're not going to stand in his way or he's going to expose them. You know what I mean? He got that much power over the whole government because there was a lot of talk saying that like 2/3 of the government would collapse if that shit came out, right? Well, imagine him controlling 2/3 of the fucking government. I know for a fact Epstein documents are being suppressed, and they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of these individuals. I know why they're being suppressed, he said on the Sean Spicer show in a newly resurfaced interview that originally aired in March of this year. I know who's suppressing them, but I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and a case that I cannot disclose what I know. Dude, why the fuck are you talking? Since obviously you can't tell us all the tea. Well, that's wild. So there is a judge that is binding him to confidentiality. I wonder if he'd be willing to release the judge's name because, Pelican to Brief was a pretty good fucking movie. Just saying. I'm not saying I endorse violence. Actually, you know what? We know me. I do endorse violence. Yes, I do. I'm not even going to pretend. That sanctimonious bullshit doesn't suit me. I'm going to tell you. Anywho. But hand to God, I know the names of those people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them. And that's wrong. Dershowitz was instrumental in negotiating Epstein's highly criticized 2008 plea deal, which granted Epstein broad immunity from prosecution in exchange for a guilty plea on a state level. Why would I want to trust anything that Alan Dershowitz says, since he fought tooth and nail to try to protect Epstein? Like, really? I mean, He was also a member of Trump's legal team during the first impeachment trial in the U.S. Senate in early 2020. Though once a liberal Democrat and outspoken critic at one point in 2016 labeling Trump more corrupt than Hillary, Dershowitz shifted by January of 2020 to a formal position focused exclusively on legal argument. Trump recruited him personally during the Christmas Eve conversation at Mar-a-Lago, and Dershowitz agreed to join on the basis that he would act independently and focus solely on constitutional interpretation and not trial strategy or fact-finding. Meanwhile, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene reacts to Dershowitz's remarks Thursday and wrote on social media platform X, release the Epstein list. Now, I must admit, Marjorie Taylor Greene has actually seemed to have grown a brain cell in the last few weeks. I'm actually kind of surprised. That was not going to be on my 2025 bingo card. I'm going to be honest. The names, the concealed documents, who's being protected, all of this is available. It's pure cover-up. They think if you find out the truth, it will thoroughly destroy the legitimacy of governing institutions. Then perhaps it fucking should. Perhaps it should. They want people to feel like that the world would fall apart if our government did. You know what? If our government's so corrupt, though, perhaps, I don't know, perhaps some kind of little reset mud flood shit should fucking happen to our government. Honestly. Next. This fucking shit again. Hamas to free 10 Israeli hostages in breakthrough as Netanyahu and Trump push ceasefire. Those two are not real. I'm sorry, but Netanyahu, well, I mean, he doesn't really push ceasefires. His idea of a ceasefire is he keeps firing and the opposing side is supposed to stop. That has generally been my, what I've seen. Much like right here. Netanyahu, Israel wants a ceasefire deal, but will still finish the job. You know? Sound like crazy people. Oh, and so 10 Israeli hostages. I don't know how they have 10 left. Because I did this video a while back. So I will pull it up for y'all. Because I made a little video about this. I just got to figure out where the fuck I put the silly video. Oh, there it is. All right. How do I pause this shit? Okay. So, as you can see on the screenshot, we got 252 that were taken by Hamas-led Palestinian gunmen. A little bit of a hairball, sorry. So, all right. So, we're going to let the math begin. This came out October 13th of 2023 through the Daily Mail. And it shows, and it says Israeli hostages rescued. Israeli soldiers rescued 250 hostages. So we were told, and this was like in the first week, because remember, this happened October 7th. This is dated October 13th, and you can see it right there at the bottom. Let me move the mouse. Well, I'd have to start playing it, but it says October 13th down here. So a week. So it looks like within the first week, they got 250 out of the 252 hostages. This got swept under the rug, but I fucking screenshot that shit before it disappeared. So, all right. And this is basically the same news footage, but it's from a source called The Sun, and it's also dated October the 13th, 2023. So both confirm the story that 250 hostages were rescued. Okay. And then right here, February 2nd of 2024, after being held hostage by Hamas for 128 days, Fernando and Luis were, and it doesn't tell the rest of the story, but a 60-year-old and a 70-year-old were rescued from Gaza from Hamas, and that's 2 guys. So total, that should leave us at 0 hostages, 250 that one day, and then 2 on this one. So technically, that should have been the end of the hostages right there, but it continues. Another 2 hostages were rescued. It kind of went back. So here. So yeah, 150. All right. So after 129 days, 2 Israelis. So 2 more. So now we're at. So yeah. So we're like at -2. Oh. IDF accidentally shoots and kills 3 Israeli hostages in Gaza. Well, that's 3. So yeah, now we're down to -5 hostages. So Hamas shouldn't have any, and they killed some extra ones, apparently. And that's dated, I can't see it very well. Let's see. Oh, this is December 15th, 2023. So they're not in the best of order, but it's everything after October 7th. So.
The IDF has shot and killed 3 Israeli hostages. The IDF is claiming that this happened during combat in Shijaya, identified 3 Israeli hostages as a threat. And as a result,
private or even Negadish was reunited with her family, having been kidnapped for it.
That's another one. So now we're at -6.
According to Israeli officials, she's been medically examined and her condition.
okay.
All right. And then we get to the hostage exchanges. You remember those hostage exchanges they were having? So here it says, okay, we're exchanging 70 Palestinian women and children from prisons in exchange for Israeli hostages. So that's 70. All right, so there, 24 Israeli hostages were exchanged. So that brings us to -30 hostages that Hamas has. -30.
Israel and Hamas in Gaza. This type of information is really.
And this is from April 11th of last year. And it says Hamas does not have 40 hostages left to negotiate and to exchange. So right there, back then, they didn't even have 40 hostages to surrender.
Really going to throw a wrench in things. So the ceasefire negotiations are ongoing in Cairo right now. And there's a leak yesterday from Hamas side that they might not have 40 Israeli hostages alive that meet the criteria for.
So see what I mean? Now, math isn't one of my strong suits, but clearly it's not theirs either. So I don't understand how there is 10 hostages even left to negotiate for when they should be at like negative 30. And this isn't even my opinion. I mean, I showed you the clips that were released and approved by them, counting them. So, I feel like it's a bunch of shit. It's just a mess I can't figure out. Netanyahu says Israel wants a ceasefire deal but still wants to finish the job. Well, it sounds quite one-sided. Speaking to reporters on Capitol Hill, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel still has to finish the job in Gaza. The intention is to release all the hostages, eliminate and destroy Hamas military and government's capability. I don't know. You kind of leveled everything. I mean, I don't see how you can really govern much else at this point. Because Gaza must have a different future for our sake and for everyone's sake. Well, last I checked, Hamas did not talk this into going to a war with Iraq and Afghanistan, but whatever. I guess pop off, King. He says he discussed with the U.S. president. I may discuss further with him later on this visit. Nuki, be quiet. Sorry, my cat is being noisy. The coordination between our two countries, the coordination between America, the American president, and the Israeli prime minister has been unmatched. It offers great promise for Israel, and for America, and for our region, and for the world. We are certainly working on a ceasefire. I like how the word ceasefire has like quotes. I thought it was quoted. Never mind. We're working on that part is quoted. We are working on and then the ceasefire is not quoted. Huh. I don't know if that's an accident or if that means something. I don't understand. Sorry, someone's raising the voice of the cat. Anyway, we can't speak in advance. You need several parties to tango. It's not even two here, but we're working on it diligently as we speak. In fact, on the way here and on the way over here and on the way from here. Okay. I kind of read that wrong and then it just kind of fell apart. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Will you hold on a minute? Sorry, I have to go stifle a cat. Shut up, Nuki. Nobody wants to hear your dog shit. Sorry. Cat was talking mad shit from the hallway. Absolute mad shit. Anyway, as Netanyahu quashes democracy, the Supreme Court and most Israelis surrender. And this is by a publication called Haaretz, which is one of the main publications in Israel. Because they have the Times of Israel and they have Haaretz. Haaretz has been a little too honest about what's going on over there. So Netanyahu has decided to punish Haaretz by trying to pull their funding and basically blacklist them. So he's been making life very difficult for Haaretz, which is kind of wild. But it makes me more inclined to listen to what they say. I'm very interested in hearing people who are being silenced, The police and prosecutors, meanwhile, have never investigated a minister in Israel's most wayward government ever. Amid the collaborationists, opposition, and a docile public as the prime minister moves to shutter the public broadcaster and stifle regime opposition. Shortly after his election victory in 2015, Benjamin Netanyahu received from his friends and gift supplier, billionaire James Packer, a link to a lecture, A tale of two systems. Most democracies are suffering from a dismal performance. Political scientist and venture capitalist Eric X. Lee, I guess, a campaigner for the regime in China, said in a TED Talk. In Netanyahu's corruption trial, just in case you didn't know, they've been trying to put Netanyahu on trial for corruption in his administration for a couple of 2 or 3 years now. They've been trying that. That's one of the reasons I think this war has been going on like it has for as long as it has, is because as long as there was a war going on, it makes it harder to remove him from office. In Netanyahu's corruption trial, this lecture has been mentioned in a cross-examination of Packer's assistant, Hadis Klein. Klein made sure that Sarah Netanyahu received the link and passed it to the prime minister. Just as Klein made... Okay, you know what? Give me a minute. Everybody got me grounded on live streaming while I'm yelling. Jackass teenagers. Sorry. See if we can try this again. Let's see. Okay, Justice Klein made sure to deliver the box of cigars and a crate of champagne. Did you listen to the lecture? Netanyahu's defense lawyer Amit Haddad? I don't know. Asked Klein. I suggest you listen to it all. He talks about democracy not being the best system and that there are other systems. A very interesting lecture. Packer wanted to pass it on to Netanyahu because it's the kind of thing they've talked about, geopolitics, philosophy. You know what? I think I am just going to copy this and I'm just going to put it in the chat and y'all can just check it out later because I don't know. The article is just not tickling my fancy like I would. Oh, biscuits. I missed a whole bunch of people. Shit. Hi, Acme. How are you? Let's see. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes, because it's always the unarmed minority of people that's their fault. It's never like a tyrannical government that's all up, America's ass together. But yes. When are you going? I did talk about Hamas. Well, I did last year because someone asked me to do so. Oh, fuck's sake. Killing shit. Do you not understand how many people they've killed? How many civilians they've killed? You know what? You've seen the same stuff I do. They quote it because Netanyahu said it. No, it was the way it was quoted. It was quoted strangely. Hello, Daniel. How are you? I hope you're doing good. All right, hold on. Where was I? Oh, yeah, I was going to drop a link in there so everybody can just go read that. There we go. I'm just not feeling that article, I guess. Anyway. All right, Netanyahu confirms that 20 Israeli hostages are still alive and hopes to deal in a few days, which is weird because the other article we saw said 10. So, I mean, granted, things change. But it still amazes me that there is even 10 or 20 left. Because the way it was counted down, I don't know what's going on with my phone. It was not showing the comments because I had my comments up so I could see who wrote. And it was on my phone, it was not showing the comments, or I would have said hello to everybody sooner. So, stupid YouTube, stupid phone. All right. Let's see. In a Newsmax interview, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the upcoming deal will secure a 60-day ceasefire, which will be used to try to negotiate an end to this, and will secure half of the living and half of the dead out of captivity. And what's wild is I can't even imagine the situation. Because here's the thing. I am confused a little by this. Because, they're talking about, the people are going to be getting half are living, half are dead. Who the hell is running around carrying dead bodies everywhere they go? Because I'm assuming Hamas and hostages are supposedly on the run. They're always changing locations, going to different places. Are they just carting a pile of dead bodies with them? Because wouldn't somebody kind of notice that? I find that very fucking weird. It doesn't make any sense. It's not because I think Hamas are good guys or anything like that. No, Netanyahu paid for them through Qatar. But I just don't understand, where are the dead bodies at? Because you would kind of notice a smell after a while, I would reckon. Of course, I think most of Gaza probably smells like that. Now there are tons of bodies under the rubble. But it's not like you would be trying to, move 10 or 20 hostages to different locations in the cover of night with a big old cart of dead bodies with you. That doesn't make any fucking sense. And so I don't know what to make of this. It's very weird. Oh, that's interesting. It says here we have 50 left. Definitely 20 alive. And 30 that are not alive. So you're telling me that you're running around with 30 bodies, just carrying them around with you? That doesn't sound logical for anybody to do. It's not efficient. It makes no sense. It's fucking weird. Next article. And it says Israel's military lawyers raise concern about new plan to move hundreds of thousands of Gazans. Now this is a bit concerning if you think about it. So I'm assuming they're trying to clear out all the Gaza people out, correct? I'm assuming so. But hundreds of thousands of them. Because when the October War started in 2023, there was an estimated 2.3 million Palestinians. So now we're down to hundreds of thousands, which would imply that hundreds of thousands are dead and missing, which is a far cry from the 56,000 death toll they told us and have been trying to stick to for like the better part of a year now. That's an insane amount of people. If hundreds of thousands of people were a danger to them, they would have already been wiped out. So they basically just killed a shit ton of civilians is what they've done. Because if they have hundreds of thousands left, not a million people left, or 1.5 million, or 2 million left, then they've killed a lot of fucking people. That's a fucking lot. Let that just think about that, because that's crazy. But now this article I thought was fucking interesting. Now, some people will say this is not really a reliable source. Well, this is more of an opinion piece. So it's just somebody's opinion. So it says new anti-Semitism. New? I did not know it was new, but because it claims that anti-Semitism has been around for quite a while. But new anti-Semitism rising among Christians is heresy. Heretics often cherry-pick the Bible, omitting what is inconvenient and connecting what is not related to advance an agenda foreign to biblical witness. Well, I say people do that quite often. Marcon, I guess, taught the Old Testament God was different from God the Father. R.S. taught that Jesus was a created and a finite being. Pelagus, I guess, taught that we are born without inclination to sin, and some have actually managed to live without sinning. All of these early heretics used the Bible to argue for their heresies. Today, there is a new group of online influencers who use the Bible to execrate Jews and Judaism, contradicting the teaching of both testaments. Bible church pastor Joel Webbin is one of the loudest and most malicious of them. I've actually never heard of this guy, so I don't know who he is. He argues that the New Testament is not concerned with physical Jews. Oh, okay. I think I know who he's. All right, I think I have seen the guy on TikTok. I just didn't know his name. But this comment right here, I do recognize it. Only with those who accept Christ. Yes, they're talking about the new covenant that was created with Jesus. All right, so he cites that Paul's testament in Romans 2 that no one is a Jew who is merely one outwardly, because circumcision is a matter of heart by the Spirit. Therefore, Webbin alleges that we Christians are to not put stock in flesh of Jews unless they accept Jewish Messiah. Well, I do believe that was the whole concept of like Revelations and all the other stories leading up to it, that when the second coming came, and this is just what I've been told, and read, that the second coming, basically all the evangelicals are really like hot for the idea, but they kind of ignore the fact that it says that if Jesus does come back and all this shit happens, that Jewish people are going to be thrown in a lake of fire for not accepting Jesus, which Christians like to kind of not mentioned, but that's part of that. So anyway, this means that God has terminated his eternal covenant with the Jewish people and has no concern for them unless they convert to Christianity. Well, Christians are going to have to kind of, I guess, sort of decide where they stand on this. Because, I mean, the concept of Christianity was the creation of Jesus, and Jesus being the start of the new covenant. And I think it's the Old Testament. It does say not to pay attention to genealogies. But, you know, I guess people are probably just going to rewrite shit to suit them. And I don't know how many times this has probably happened in the last 2,000 years, but whatever. He attacks Jewish character with shocking calumny. I've never heard of that word. I don't know what that is. Sorry. In a recent post on X, he pronounced that those of Jewish descent are generally marked by subversion, deceit, and greed. In words that are light years from what Jesus and Paul uttered about the second temple of Judaism. Webben writes that the Jewish religion is parasitical. We have not heard such anti-Semitic invective since the mass rallies of the 1930s. Because I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube for saying that word. So, Christians who wonder why so many German churches looked the other way when Jews started disappearing should take notice. Webben's contempt for non-Messianic Jews would shock St. Paul, who said his fellow Jews had zeal without knowledge. Like every heretic, Webben omits much in the New Testament that is inconvenient for his thesis. For example, just 2 verses after Paul lauds circumcision of the heart, which is commended explicitly in Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Jeremiah, then what value has the Jew? I feel like I'm going to get in trouble for reading this, but I'm only quoting what's in the article. But I actually feel like I might actually get in trouble by YouTube for this. So I am going to just copy that, and I'm just going to put it in the chat so that way you can read it whenever you want, because I'm not trying to get shut down for that. There's plenty of things I get shut down for, but yeah. Hello, Hanzo.
Hey, how you doing? How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm almost done. But you did say you were going to pop in for a bit, so this would fit the bit.
So wait, you put 9 though.
Look, I said 7 my time, 7 Central.
Because when you sent the link, it says starting in 3 hours, and I figured it was 9.
Sorry.
Since our times are different.
Well, yeah, but like, hold on. It says I sent it at 3:58. So 3 hours from 3:58 is still 3 hours.
Okay, yeah, I guess I didn't realize what time you sent it. My bad. How you doing, though? You good?
I'm doing all right. I was finding it interesting that they're saying that basically, talking about the new covenant with Jesus is basically considered anti-Semitic. And before I go into my, right as I'm about to tell people that, it's probably a fucking psyop and everybody's going to think I'm crazy. In 1996, an article came out talking about the church groups balk at the potential CIA use of the clergy. And if anybody thinks I'm silly, we can go to the CIA's actual website where they do talk about this. The church as a cover. And I'm pretty sure they have not, and that was 1980. This article came out in 96. So I'm pretty sure if something as strong as religion that can sway people and make them easily to control, I know the CIA would not give up that.
I agree.
So if the church is telling you to be a little pussies and to surrender and roll over and bend over, then you're probably being psyoped. So
yeah, I agree.
I figured the CIA's website, nobody's going to tell me that's not a good source. Like, you can go argue with the CIA about it, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, apparently StreamYard's updated, so things are different, and I can't even use my intro anymore.
You can't use your intro? How come?
Because they want me to upgrade and pay for service, and then I can use it.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, it's the video I already had uploaded. So you took away what I already had, and then you're gonna try to sell it back to me. You get fucked. StreamYard, you can get fucked with that. No, that's some bullshit. So I put up a whole bunch of video clips under here.
StreamYard was like, they raised their prices, and for me it was like $65 every month, and I was like, I'm not paying that anymore. So I did
How much are they trying to charge?
$65 every month.
Oh my god, they were 20 for a while. What the hell made them like they were worth 60?
Well, here, because of the exchange rate, it was 40 for us, and then it went up like $25, and I was like, nah, screw that. So
I forgot. Yeah, you're not in America. I thought you were somebody.
No, so I kind of canceled it, and then they said, oh well, you get the next 6 months at $30 or something like that. So I said, okay, fine. But after 6 months, I'll probably try something else.
Yeah, I didn't want to pay for it when it was $20.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
And so I'm just gonna start putting my intro down here instead. It's over here in the media assets, because apparently there's my intro, and it says, oh, you want to share a clip? See what you get by upgrading. I'm like, you can get fucked, buddy. So yeah, I just like use a Reagan speech for my intro because he was kind of a not such a great guy that I thought he was, but some of his speeches were pretty fucking good. So I was thinking of maybe I just string together a bunch of AI clips from TikTok, shit like this.
Christmas, you British fucks. Someone be sure to tell King George, this is how you unwrap a revolution.
Me, I'm white. I voted for him. He said we'd win big.
Girl, you'd lick a tractor tire if he told you it tasted like freedom.
It's true, though. It's true. I've never seen Christian people backslide so fucking hard and move the goalpost so fucking hard as they have in the last 2 years. Holy shit. Or in the last, fucking 6 months. They went from release those Epstein files, and half of them are like, there was no Epstein files.
And now all of a sudden there's no files.
They're like, I don't know what Pam Bondi is doing. She's making Trump's administration look bad. I'm like, who do you think's running that show?
For real.
Like, are we just going to ignore the fact that someone asked Trump about it? And he was like, we're still talking about Epstein, that creep? Why are we still talking about that guy? You gaslight motherfucker. And they're like, what's Pam Bondi doing? Yeah, because that looked like Pam Bondi. No, that was Trump saying that, man.
Yeah, because Trump is on them lists.
Oh, exactly. You would think he would at least been smart enough to just take his name off the list.
Yeah.
But no, I'm absolutely convinced. And it was actually before this actually blew up that it wasn't going to return. I thought, if he doesn't show the list, it's probably because he's keeping it, because he can, if it will take down 2/3 of the U.S. government, then that means he can control and blackmail 2/3 of the U.S. government.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like future politicians, if you're out there, try not to stick your dick in stuff you're not supposed to, so you can actually be useful when you get in office, please. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Fucking madness. And there is some whispers, nothing to confirm yet, but there's whispers that since people have been going, well, if Epstein didn't do anything, why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail? So there's talks that she might get pardoned by Trump.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, wow. His handlers got him good. Man. They got that harness right around his balls and just yank.
Yep.
Yep. This country is absolutely falling apart. Like, I want to run away to Ireland and just get away. I mean, it's got its problems too, but at least they're trying to stand on business. Oh, there is hints that Israel's going to threaten Ireland because they said that they were going to divest and not do any business with them, not sell or export anything with them. And I'm like, that's bold and brave to do, but
it wouldn't surprise me because Netanyahu is just wanting to start some war. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he is mean and vengeful as fuck.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I want a ceasefire, but we need to all, but we're gonna finish the job. I'm like, so basically, they ceasefire, you don't, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let's just call it what it actually is, folks. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such madness. It is. I mean, how about Let me copy a link. So there we go. So I need to put my house into probate so I can leave the country. So if anybody wants to donate to that PayPal link, by all means, please do. Damn, the lawyer wanted money. And the only way to bypass that is that I sign a deal and they'll do something with probate that I could sell it while it's in probate, and they will basically like it's like a line of credit. So if they know the house is going to sell, they won't make me pay it right now. And in 90 days, because usually houses sell within that 90-day period, that then I can pay them with that money. But I don't want to feel like the clock is ticking. I got 3 months to fucking do that, you know? Because I've been living here since 2002. And so I don't know if I can pack everything up and figure out where to put stuff. You know, 20 years of memories. It's like, holy, well, longer than that because it got stuff from the old place and old pictures, old everything. I mean, I might want to leave in 3 months, but I like having the option of it, not I have to do it.
No, I agree with you.
So that kind of makes me like, But, like, I don't know. Things are getting bad, so, I mean, maybe that is the only option.
It might be.
Because I want to, like, get a couple of, like, use that money, buy a couple of little rental properties and have it set up, and then, like, yeah, because I found some land for an okay price, and little modular homes will do the job for now, and people are needing rent places they can afford to rent because everything is so high that I could have rent that's not that high for this little home, and it'll be enough for like 2 or 3 people, and that could be like $2,000 or $3,000 coming in a month. I don't have to actually be here to get, and that can sustain me wherever I go for the most part. Because I don't need fancy. I just need not to starve to death, you know.
For real.
But like, yeah. I'm thinking on it. There's like other parts of the family I wanted to talk to. Well, they're like honorary parts of the family. They're not like legally part of the family, but you know, they have an emotional attachment to this place too, because you know they've also been a part of this household for like 20 years. So I need to like have to sit down and talk. I didn't really want to do it over the phone. Although if he's going to be on the road for a month or two, I might just have to fucking talk to him on Messenger and just be like, hey, listen, and see what he thinks. So I don't want people to just come home and find themselves like locked out and the family's moved on. I don't want to do that to somebody that's fucked up. You can't do that, folks.
For real.
He may not approve of the idea, but I asked my daughter because legally she'd be the next person in line to have a claim. And she's like, nah, so let's get out of here. I'm like, and she's lived here all her life. So she's like, yeah, it's time to go. Like, oh, hey, Brett, man, you just missed it. I was absolutely just ripping a rampage through the silly bullshit of what Trump and Netanyahu have been doing. I do try to cover other things, but my God, everything I click on is something to do with them fuckers. It's like that scene in freaking Harry Potter, the 3 in the office. She just goes, why when something happens, it's always you 3. It's like that. It's covered a little bit of Ted Cruz's bullshit and just segued into, just in the same week the floods happened, he comes back from Greece and tries to pledge $250 billion to Israel while there's supposedly low funding to help the flood victims. I'm like, so it just kind of segued right into that. And there we go again. I would love to be able to talk. I know they are fucking psychos, man. I've never seen such blatant craziness in all my days. Good Lord. So yes, I want to run off to a country that does not, is not okay with this. I feel morally and ethically unclean being surrounded in this silliness. But so how have you been? Anto?
Sorry, I was muted. My bad. I've been pretty good. How about you?
Doing all right. I feel like I have to run, but it's like I got to slow down and speed up at the same time, and I just don't know what to do with it all.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. It's kind of rough with the way things are going, especially you Americans having to deal with Trump, you know?
Oh, yeah. I heard y'all got your hands full with your new prime minister as well. Yeah, Brett was telling me all about it. Blatant crazy cover. They're barely covering it up. That's what's wild. It's like I miss the days when politicians did bad things and at least they held their head down and they pretended to be sorry. I miss those days. I miss when they at least pretend to have shame. Now, not a fucking bit of it. Barely covering it up.
They don't care about anything.
Right. They feel completely untouchable. And I can't help but feel a little bit tingly in special places when I'm seeing like footage of like, you know, vigilante shit going on against officials. I'm like,
yeah, that's crazy.
I can't cry you a river. I'm sorry, you know. You know, because I mean, how are we going to sit there and celebrate 4th of July and talk about, you know, the first shot at Concord and how, you know, regular citizens and non alike picked up arms to defend against bad shit, and then get upset when someone does the same? Because I'm sure there were people back then who thought they were, what's the word I'm looking for? Terrorists as well. I'm sure they, you know, and because they won, more or less, then they look like heroes. But yeah, everybody looks like a terrorist till they win.
Exactly. I already know, like, America has funded a lot of these terrorists anyways, you know what I mean? So.
Oh, yeah. I met a dashing ex-Marine last night. Well, I don't know. I've been told there's no such thing as an ex-Marine, but whatever. He's not actually in service right now. So, and he was telling me, I'm not going to put his name out there like that because, you know, he might not want everyone knowing his point of view, which is fine. But even he said that, like, you know, they were lied to. And he feels personally lied to for, you know, going to, like, you know, Afghanistan and stuff. You know, comes back, he's got nerve damage, aches and pains you normally expect, the bad dreams, and for what? For weapons of mass destruction weren't even fucking there. And I was like, man, my guy, shit. Like, I would have given a hug if I could have. Like, poor guy. And I think it's good to hear.
They got nothing, right?
But I think a lot of military former service members need to start coming out and saying it more. I want this next generation to know this is not something you want to sign up for. I mean, we already got Americans over there doing something they're not supposed to. Nuki, shut the fuck up. That bitch's surgery is like next week. She needs to shut the fuck up. That cat is in heat for like 3 out of 4 weeks a month. I swear to God, that cat will not shut the fuck up. She can act normal for like 5 days, not even consecutively. Sometimes, but just 5 days, and the rest of the time she's like, yeah,
mine drove me crazy. Yep, 100. Have to get them.
I can't wait for her to get fixed. Jesus. Yeah. And then when she does dumb shit, we can toss her outside with the other cats. But no, we have to listen to this.
Yep.
For her own good. Oh, yes, brother, preach.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, did you hear about that crazy shit that happened at one of the Border Patrol agency offices? Where I guess someone set off a firework to lead the Border Patrol agents out, and people were shooting at them. Apparently, I think it was like 8 or 10 people involved. And I was like, damn, you actually found 8 or 10 people who could actually agree on something and plan something. That's amazing. Holy shit. Wow. I didn't expect that because, you know, anytime you ever get something together, you know there's going to be a snitch in your midst. Yeah, so I'm like, damn, you managed to do that. I mean, your aim wasn't very good because I don't think they got many of them. I think they may have got one, maybe. But still, it rattled the hell out of them. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like ICE agency would have been better. But, I mean, they do work with each other. But, I mean, I feel like this is a sign of things to come. And I'm like, I've never been a back the blue sticker on my vehicle kind of girl. Even if I thought it'd get me out of tickets, I'm like, nah, I'll take the ticket with dignity. Fuck that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know everybody's gonna be like, there's always some good law enforcement. And I'm like, I mean, I'm sure there are, but you know, I give it that stranger danger treatment. I assume everybody's bad until you prove me different.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I've met
Daddy's an officer. He's a good one. You know what I mean? There are a few good ones out there.
There are a few. But a lot of times, if you're truly a good officer, odds are you're going to be ostracized by your fellow compatriots, and ostracized and pushed out, or like get hemmed up in something because they don't want someone they can't trust. I mean, wasn't there a cop that was kind of a good guy and his department turned on him? Something Donner, I think his last name was Donner. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find that real quick, because I can't remember exactly the story, but they ended up killing him. He was a military veteran, the officer.
Well, I got to pick the piece then again.
Officer Christopher Dorner. Apparently, I didn't remember the name quite correctly, but let me share the screen. Just as stop screen. I thought I was. Okay, that's weird. Let me figure out how to do this real quick. Well, I mean, I know how to do it. For some reason, my left hand is just retarded. All right. Like, this is why I don't write with my left hand, you know?
I feel you.
Anyway, Christopher Dorner shooting and manhunt. This happened in February 13. Was a former officer of Los Angeles Police Department. So let's see what happened to him. Dorner killed 4 people and wounded 3 others. On February 12th, Dorner was cornered by police in a cabin in the woods, and that was set on fire, where he was he killed himself after a shootout. Oh wait, hold on. All right. So he had a shootout, but he decided to kill himself by setting it on fire instead of shooting himself. I mean, I personally think I'd rather take the bullet than burn alive. It seems kind of weird. It sounds like they burned him alive, is what it sounds like to me. So
Would not surprise me if that were the case.
Oh, yeah. All right, he is accused of murdering the daughter of an ex-LAPD captain and her fiance, which is kind of interesting because I heard there was actually something else to it. But for some reason at the time, I just didn't really Let's see. Okay, hold on. Christopher Donner's gun linked to $1 million watch robbery? That sounds like some suspicious weird shit. How would it be his... I don't know. That sounds like a lot of weird shit surrounding that guy.
Yep.
Why do people sympathize with Christopher Dorner? This might actually give us some answers. Medical examiners have identified the remains of Christopher Dorner, the former LA police officer who allegedly killed 4 people in a revenge-fueled killing spree. Dorner's apparent manifesto. You almost know it's a setup when there's a manifesto. I mean, if I ever do some crazy shit, I'm not gonna fucking do a manifesto because they're gonna use AI and change what I fucking said anyway.
For real.
So, you know, but apparent manifesto revived old criticism of racism within the police force. Host Michael Martin speaks to NPR's Karen Bates about the LAPD's community relations. For fuck's sake. Let's see. So it's like an actual play-by-play. Dorner was accused of shooting 5 people and killing 2, along with 2 other people. A killing spree that amounted to a one-man war. Dorner said that he was fighting to bring attention to what he called a culture of racism that cost him his career. While there was a lot of questions remaining about this tragic story, we want to dig into some of the old questions that have been haunting the LAPD for years. The questions surfaced, example, of Rodney King and his audio tapes during the O.J. Simpson trial of Detective Mark Furman using the N-word. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing Mark Furman's name now, but it's been a bit. We wanted to find out just what are the relations between the LAPD and minority communities. Well, I think we kind of know. But let's see. All right, let's get to Dorner. Specifically in connection to the LAPD, Dorner he felt he had been scapegoated after he reported that his training officer had treated a suspect abusively. Oh, see, now I think we're digging into it. He said that the officer had kicked a mentally ill man in the head after subduing him, which is something the officer denied. Then Dorner was accused of filing a false report against the officer. That's retaliation. He was brought before a grievance committee, and he seemed to have felt that there was a code of silence, no shit, that prevented the other officers who were there from saying, yes, we saw it. Oh, it just jumped. Hold on. No one said that they saw it. In fact, many people said they saw no abuse. So the committee recommended that Dorner be dismissed. He was dismissed, and his week-long vendetta throughout the Southern California was the end result. He said that he felt that he might lose his life, but it was worth it if he could clear his name. So that sounds weird that he would have killed a police captain's daughter and be connected to a watch robbery. That sounds like that was the cover story. This
makes sense.
sounds much more likely to me.
I agree.
So when someone does try to take a stand, they're retaliated against. There was an officer in Detroit about 5 or 6 years ago, I think, about 5 or 6 years ago, who was standing up against corruption, and he was ostracized by his other officers in the department. He had to quit and left town because he didn't feel safe.
Yeah, they usually have to do that. You know what I mean? It's like a brotherhood. You can't go against your brotherhood, you know?
That's why I don't trust any police officers, because this one right here might not do something to me. But I know good and well he's not going to save me, probably, if his buddy decides to do something.
Agreed.
So, yeah, it's one of those, good people doing nothing, letting bad guys do shit, thing. So they're just both as dangerous as the other, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, thankfully, the only time I've run into a corrupt cop, and I mean, it was still significant, he perjured himself on the stand. I watched him fucking do it. Yeah, shout out to the former, piece of shit, Bobby Tompkins, detective, who's now the police chief of the Spring Lake Police Department. Right there for you, buddy. Sit on that piece of shit. I don't mind throwing his name out there now and then. Let him come knock on my motherfucking door. Piece of shit. Anyway, I found out the Spring Lake Police Department is a tiny township inside of the city, and apparently it's not very far away. So I think it's over about 5 miles from me. I'm like, oh, good. He could walk over here if he wants to. I doubt he would, though. Shit. Anyway. I was always raised not to trust cops anyway, but that didn't fucking help. That's just like, oh, that's on par with what my dad told me about cops. Oh. My dad said the only good cop is the one you know. Yeah,
I don't trust them either, 100%. But, I mean, because I know Danny and I'm close with Danny, I try to give the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, is Danny one?
Yeah, Danny's a complete.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Yeah, there might be 1 or 2 good ones. But that's still a bad percentage.
Facts.
We still warn our kids not to talk to strangers because not all of them are dangerous, but we don't know which ones are.
Agreed.
And so, yeah, if I have a problem with somebody, the odds of me calling the police are about slim and none. If there's a serious issue going on, I'll probably just call 911 for a paramedic or something, like there's been a car accident. Obviously cops will probably show up first, whoever gets there first, but I don't purposely call the police on people.
Yeah, same here.
Thankfully, I've not been in a situation. Well, there's a couple of situations where, like, I don't know. Oh, well, actually, yeah, there was New Orleans police. God, that's a fucking mess. Fucking New Orleans police. Jesus Christ. It's like the LAPD with a twangy accent.
Facts.
Corrupt pieces of shit. Prostitution, selling drugs, doing all kinds of crazy shit. They shoot unarmed people. It's a whole thing. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And they've always been bad. My dad told me stories. There was one time in the 70s, well, there's a couple of incidents, but one in particular, where I guess someone shot a cop. Like, it happens. And so every cop in the fucking 9th Ward, whatever, had an itchy trigger finger. They were just going up, casing the streets, looking for something. They wanted to fucking do something. And
100%.
One guy, I guess one cop car stopped because they saw a guy underneath the house. I guess he was like, because the houses are a little bit raised up, so you got your stairs and you got like a space under the house. And this plumber was coming out from under the step or under the porch area with a pipe wrench in hand, and the cop shot him, claiming he saw a weapon.
Wow.
That's New Orleans cops for you. That was in the 70s. Oh, and the New Orleans cops killed my godfather as well. Shot him up.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. You remember how they used to treat Vietnam veterans coming back?
Yeah.
Yeah, they took a special shine to my poor godfather. And so, like, he was kind of a hippie type. Well, he progressed into a hippie type because he had done 4 tours of Vietnam. And the one that absolutely finished him off was the last tour where apparently he had to shoot a 14-year-old girl because she was walking up to hand him a hand grenade.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's rough. I was like, shit, poor guy. Because, I mean, what else can you do? I mean, if there's a language barrier, you can't tell her to drop it. You can't, she may not understand what she's doing, not fully. And, I mean, there's not a lot of options there, unfortunately. And he was the point man for the platoon, so he had to. There was not a lot of choices in that. And I feel bad. I feel bad for both parties on that, with that poor girl probably not knowing any better, and for him for having to do it. Like, the whole thing's awful. But he wasn't volunteering for Vietnam anymore after that. He was like, fuck all that. And but he was always trying to find jobs, and he would find jobs. And anytime some stupid crime happened somewhere, because the cops took a shine to him, they would track him down to wherever job he was at that time and question him. And they would do this until he was fired. And then he'd move on to another job, and they would repeat. Anytime something happened, even if they knew he had nothing to do with it, they'd come harass him at his work to make him lose that job. And they just kept fucking doing this to this guy.
Mm.
And he almost always had a gun on him, apparently, because it's New Orleans and it's not fucking safe, obviously. So, so he almost always had a gun on his hip. And, PTSD, the whole bit, it wasn't talked about much in the 70s, but he had it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess he was walking down the street or walking down the sidewalk with his wife, Dottie, I think, might have been her name. I can't remember. But, so they were walking along carrying their groceries. And apparently he was a really good sniper and a really good draw. Like, kind of shit you see in movies, apparently. And my dad told me that's how it was. The guy was insanely fast. Well, apparently he was fast enough because the cop decided to realize it was him, stop his car in the middle of the street, jump out, and pull his gun on my godfather. My godfather pulled his gun and shot the cop before that grocery bag hit the ground.
Wow.
Because for that split second, we're assuming he didn't realize it was a cop. He just saw a gun pointed at him, reacted, and thought, fuck.
Mm.
And the shit hit the fan, and he took off running, and they were tracking him through different buildings, down side streets, everything, until I guess he got himself cornered in a abandoned building or something, and they shot through the wall and killed him, and then went in and finished him. Damn. So I was raised with stories like that. So then, I see videos of the crazy shit going on that cops do, and I'm like, well, that tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine what we missed without cell phones.
For real.
I mean, hell, not much gets done. Very rare does someone actually get in trouble for anything. They just get suspended with pay and this and that. But if someone tries to break here in Oklahoma, because I know these standard ground rules are a little different in different places. But here in Oklahoma, if someone's trying to get in my door and I shoot through the door, I'm going to jail for that.
Mm.
If he busts my door open and he's like right on that little ridge between the outside and the in, and I shoot him and he falls out the door, I might still face trouble because he wasn't actually fully broken into the domicile at that time. So I might still go to jail. So I have to wait till he is fully in the front room or wherever the fuck room he's coming in at and coming at me for me to do it.
Wow.
So, yeah, and if he's a faster shot than me, I'm fucked. Absolutely.
Well,
because I'm not even.
We can't even do that here, right? Like,
and if I allegedly did have any kind of firearm, it's not the kind you can just draw like that, I'm not a pistol person. I would be a long gun person, which, I mean, just because I guess as a kid, that was what I was taught on, was like longer stuff, like a 22 when I was little, and then kind of you progress up. So, like, yeah. Let's see. Hold on a second. Wow, we don't have those problems here in Canada. That said, we have in the past taken and driven Indigenous people away out of town in the middle of winter and left. Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say, because, like, even here in Canada, like, if someone breaks into your house and you shoot them, you could be in trouble for that, too. They're in your house, you know what I mean? So,
and that's insane.
Yeah, but it's totally different here.
Yeah, and so, I mean, Oklahoma has got pretty flexible laws when it comes to guns, but they still have those little silly things. Like one of the grow ops, I don't know if you call them grow ops where you're at, but it's basically like your weed. Yeah. And one guy, I feel bad. I don't remember his name, and I'm not even sure I know enough of the details to Google it. But I think around 20, I don't know when it happened, but I think I heard about it in 2022. Because they were talking about changing certain laws because a guy, I guess it was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, the owner of this grow op was in his grow op doing grow op things, I guess. And someone started trying to fuck with the doorknob, started trying to kick the door in. Guy freaked out. Someone was trying to force their way in. He shot them through the door, killed them, and he went to prison. I don't remember if they executed him or not. I heard they were going to. And that's crazy. At 2 o'clock in the morning, what are you doing trying to break into a building that isn't yours?
Facts.
And I'm assuming the guy probably told him to leave or told him to stop. So he probably, the assailant most likely knew somebody was inside. Because I would be like, get the fuck away from the house. Or I don't know what I would do. I don't know if I would yell out and tell them to stop, or like, because if I get scared, sometimes not a sound comes out. Like I'll look around and figure out what to use for a weapon or something, but I might not make a sound because I was also, I guess, trained as a kid that if there's a danger, you have to stay quiet or they find you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I would make a sound. A few nights ago, it sounded like somebody was playing with my doorknob. Where I live, that seems unlikely, but it sounded like somebody was trying to, because it's one of those like pull down handles. Is my front door, and it sounded like somebody was fucking with it. And I went like this, and I listened for it, and I was looking around the room. I didn't make a sound. I didn't know what to do, because odds are if someone's trying to get in your house in the middle of the night, like they may or may not be scared off by the sound of you.
Yeah, 100.
Or they might be more interested in getting in there because you might be a witness. I don't know. But I didn't make a sound. I just looked around trying to figure out what I could use for a weapon. And I think I picked up something innocuous, like an ashtray or something, because we have glass ashtrays. They are fucking hefty as fuck. Like that will pop a skull. And so I think I carried it to the door and then locked the door. Because out here, you don't really got to lock your doors. I half the time I leave the key in my ignition so I don't, forget it somewhere. Because nobody's going to fucking take it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so I locked the door because it wasn't locked. And then I I had a problem since, but that was weird as shit.
Yeah, growing up here, we never used to lock our doors either. Like, there was no reason to, you know what I mean? Like, everybody knew everybody on our block. No one was really going to come in and do anything. Most people liked my parents, so they weren't really going to come in there and mess with our stuff, Like, my parents were the type of people, like, if you came to the house and you had something hot, you better believe my dad was going to buy it. You know what I mean? So nobody really messed with us, so we never really needed to lock our doors. Now I would never think about that.
And we know our two closest neighbors, although the second closest neighbor, we don't see him much anymore. I'm kind of worried about him because used to, like a few years ago, his mom was like 80 at that time. And she'd sit out on the porch. You could tell the poor thing had like dementia or whatever. And, but she, when the days were not too cold or too hot, she'd be out on the porch. And I haven't seen her in like 3 or 4 years, and I haven't hardly seen him, but every once in a while doing something in the yard. So I'm like, don't even know if she's still alive or not. But everybody kind of, and then the neighbors over there on the more or less main road out there, I see them occasionally mowing their lawn or doing this or that, but everybody kind of keeps to themselves. So, like, but everybody recognizes each other's vehicle, do a little wave. But I have no idea what their names are. Like, but like, this is pretty. I mean, technically, I could take those little long lawn chairs, you can lay down in. And I can just like sit in the front yard and know, like, the only thing I'm worried about is like a raccoon scratching my face, like nobody's. I'm not worried about someone attacking me out there.
Yeah, I feel you.
I mean, after that doorknob thing, I am feeling a little dodgy about that. But before that, though, because that was weird. Because like it sounded like somebody who never used a doorknob. Like they didn't do it and do this, but it sounded like someone was trying to figure out how to use it, like playing with it. It was weird. And like I don't think our cats are tall enough for that. So I was like I don't know. And the neighbors' dogs would have been inside. Plus they didn't do that anyway. So I don't know. It was a very weird moment right there. And everybody else was asleep. So that was like, and there I was in the front room because I just happened to be in the front room when this happened. And I'm like, oh great. I'm the only thing standing between whatever this is and the rest of the family. God damn it. Shit, I better make it good. At least I better die loudly so they got some warning. Lock their doors, fucking something. because like my daughter's got a airsoft rifle. Like she doesn't have a real gun. I wanted to get one for her 18th birthday. She just turned 18 at the end of May, and I wanted to get her a gun because that's just how we roll in this family. But I just didn't have the money for it. Like I asked her like what kind of weapon she would want, and I was really hoping I was going to get more back from my taxes, and I didn't. I didn't get as much as I thought I was going to get, and I was like, fuck. And we needed a vehicle, so like so now we have a truck and a car, so we made that work. But I do hope to get her a gun. I think she said she wanted a pistol, which technically in America here we have to be 21 to get. A rifle can be 18, but a pistol can be 21.
I got you.
But technically, I can have it in my name, and she can use it if she needs to, because she does live here. And I think you're allowed to use a pistol at like in certain places if you're under 21, like a shooting range, like you're under the watch of someone else. You can do that. So like almost everyone my daughter knows is over 21, so it can just be like unofficially hers. But again, I don't have the money to do that. But I'm hoping to at some point. And I did get her an espresso machine for her birthday though. She did want that.
Nice.
So she's hoping to move out soon, which makes me feel old as hell.
How old is she?
I'm like, no. Oh, and she bought her first car a couple of weeks ago. So proud of her. She works so hard. And she bought herself a 2016 Chevy Cruise.
Nice.
It's a cute little car. I think it's very cute. And I was like, oh, honey, I'm so proud of you. My baby. Aww.
How old is she?
She's 18.
18. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of my kitten.
For
She's
sure.
such a smart girl. She's a little bit of a booger, but I mean, she's a teenager,
Yeah.
But I've almost made it through her teens without her telling me she hates me or telling me to go away or whatever. So it's not been too bad.
That's good. That's good. Because I didn't. My son told me he hated me on more than one occasion.
Oh.
Then apologized, of course, but.
Well, that's good. I think Dee Dee knows that she's not the only person in the world that can hurt me. And so don't jinx it. I'll try not to. I'll try not to jinx it. But the little wood thing there or whatever. But yeah. I mean, sometimes I think she knows it would probably just absolutely break me. That I could take a lot from a lot of people, but I couldn't take a lot from her.
Yeah,
like she's the one that would kill me, and I think she knows that. And so she might be like, kind of like, Mom, But she shows restraint and discretion, knowing that her words would just kill me. And if I mean, she's a little rough around the edges with everybody else, but not with me, and I appreciate her so much for that.
Absolutely.
Of course, I also don't yell at her either.
Unless she gives you a reason to.
Even then, I try. She doesn't usually give me a lot of reason. The biggest issue I generally have with her is that she doesn't clean up her dishes. She puts them in the sink, and then I have to do them. And sometimes it'll be 2 a.m, and she'll be playing League, and she kind of rages out a little bit. She'll be like, "What the hell is that? I'm carrying the whole fucking team on my back." I'm like, first off, young lady, language, and please, it's 2 a.m. And she's like, "Sorry," and then you hear her, "What are you doing?" And you hear her like quietly yelling at somebody. I'm like, all right, as good as it's gonna get, okay. So she does. But usually, she's pretty reasonable. If you try to talk to her reasonably, she will be reasonable. If you act unreasonable toward her, she will be unreasonable. And I'm like, I get that. Yeah, because she doesn't want to be treated like she's stupid, and I understand that. So I make sure I don't ever do such a thing. I try not to treat her the way I wouldn't want to be treated. I don't do that whole, some parents do, and maybe it works for them, but I was just never fond of the whole, because I said so, that's the reason, or, you live in this house under my rules. I don't know. It makes them sound like a prisoner, not a family member. Okay. I never want her to feel that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Because kids remember shit.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, there's a couple of times when she was a lot younger that I did raise my voice a couple of times. I was annoyed because, kid stuff, preteen shit. And it wasn't too bad, but, we had talked about things here and there, and I realized she remembered a lot of shit. Because when she was little, I had never raised a kid before. So, I was trying to figure it out, too. So sometimes, I'd get a little annoyed at her than I should have, gave her a swat when she spilt my nail polish on the wooden floor. Just dumb shit like that,
Yeah.
And I'm glad I wasn't like real bad. I'm glad I wasn't one of those really awful parents because like she remembers a lot of shit. And I'm like, fuck, I'm so glad I wasn't awful.
Yeah.
I was still trying to figure it out, and as I learned, I got better. Because I did want to do my best. I didn't want to treat her like she was a burden or anything because she didn't ask to be here.
Yeah. No, I tried to be the best father I could be as well.
That's all we can do is try.
And I think when you're in their life like that, and you can still have boundaries between like having a friendship with them and actually being a parent. But when you have kids that are able to talk to you, then they usually don't do stupid shit.
Yes, they at least if they're going to do stupid shit. I feel like everybody's entitled to a certain amount of stupid shit in their life.
Oh, 100%.
And I've always told her, like, if you're gonna do some dumb shit, like, you might hear about it from me, but at least I'm on your side. I'm gonna try to help you. Because if you decide you want to smoke some weed or have some drinks, I'd rather you be here and be safe. I don't want someone to slip something into your drink and drug you somewhere else and you end up in a ditch and I don't know where you are. Because I'll never be so mad at you for trying weed or alcohol that I'm going to disown you and toss you out of the house. Like it's not going to go down like that. And like now that she's 18, child services can't come get me. So there's a couple of times when she was like 16, she'd have like, it's kind of like a White Claw. It almost doesn't count. It almost doesn't count as alcohol, really. And then like, I think like for her birthday, when she turned 18, she hung out with some of her gamer friends and they had, I think Crown. They had some Crown Royal drinks. And I'm like, you're not going to be driving like that, are y'all? And she's like, no, Mom. I'm like, you're going to be good? She's like, yes. I'm like, all right. If I text you, make sure you're alive. She goes, yes. All right. Because at least I know
where like 16 anyways, right?
And she installed on my phone for us Life 360. So that way she knows where I am and I know where she's at. So that way, if I wonder where she is, I'm like, oh, she's over at Alden's house. Okay. And I'll be like, you still doing all right? She'll be like, yes, Mom. It might take her a little bit to get back to me because, music's playing or whatever for her birthday, And she's like, yes, I'm still alive. I'm like, all right, good to hear. Be safe out there. And make sure you drink water, because I would rather her, do her silliness a little bit here and there and just jump right into it. And I can't do anything to help her.
Yeah, 100%. Plus, we all drank and did stuff at 16.
Exactly. I was a dumbass. Man, I was 16. I was climbing out my window to go hang out with my stoner friends and drink alcohol, drink a whiskey called R&R.
I know the feeling.
I was 16 and I did that.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Trust me.
Yeah. Tried weed when I was 16. Oh man, my mom's reaction was fucking terrible. So she apparently was listening at the door, and I was talking to one of my friends, and I was talking about weed, and she swings that door open, tells me I'm a monster, I am horrible, and I have ruined my life. And I'm like, over weed? Like, damn. I remember that. I was 16 when that happened, and I'm 43 now, and I still remember that. And that hit hard. I was like, she made me sound like I was the worst piece of trash on earth for weed. I was like, God damn, that's fucked up. And of course, now that I'm older and I know how we can help people and how it's the least of the bad shit you can do, I'm like, God damn, traumatizing me and fucking verbally abusing me and shit for something dumb. And I was like, I am not doing that to Dee Dee. Like, I'm not doing that to her. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to make enough mistakes. Let's avoid the one that's fucking obvious, at least.
Facts. So. No, I agree with you, too. Even me, I was like, I'm not trying to make the same mistakes my father did, right?
Right. Try to figure out what was good and what was bad and try to avoid the bad. Yeah. Or find a balance in there somewhere.
Exactly. So,
and my daughter is smart. She's healthy. She's seems to get good self-awareness, of things. Like, she works hard.
Yeah.
Like, she's so much more accomplished, like, at her age than I was, you know? And I'm so proud of her. Like, there's some parents that are almost jealous of their child. Like, they're in competition. That's insane.
Yeah.
And when you're because if it's true that if it is true that one of your best accomplishments will be your kids, then shouldn't you be glad if they're doing better or just as good or better? Like you're supposed to want that. Nuki, I swear to God, I'll bite you. I'm not gonna actually bite the cat, but I had to talk shit to her. Nuki, are we really having this conversation? You fluffy bastard.
Oh yeah, I don't miss those days at all. Trust me.
Very little fucker. As soon as I opened that door, she ran to the living room. Phew. I have a shirt on underneath this. So this one I just put on because I thought it'd be cute to have my like strawberry jams, but my Glock don't. So that's just in the feisty mood I was in today. But I had this shirt on, draped across the TV. I was chasing her through the house, trying to swat her with the shirt, like, it's a very soft, fluffy shirt, so it wasn't going to hurt her. It just hurt her feelings, really.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently. Oh, okay. So apparently, Brett's saying R&R is a Canadian whiskey. I did not know that. And at 16, I don't think I cared. It's like it's alcohol that I could afford. So go in and get it for me. Because I think it was like $7 or $8 for the bottle. This was like 1997. Yeah. So, actually, I think it was for my birthday. I think it's one of the stoners bought it for my birthday. Actually, I think. Yeah, I think so. It was I think it's almost a squarish shaped bottle, if I remember correctly, about this tall. And man, I had never been so shit faced. Of course, at 16, I would hope not. Like Jesus, like one of my friends had to carry me. I was like, damn. I was always hoping my daughter wouldn't feel like she had to sneak out, but apparently at one point she actually did. Like, I don't remember what the reason was, because I was sitting there like, but she told me like she told me like a year or two after the fact. And I'm like, fuck her. And she's like, yeah, like I wanted to go see, I forget who it was she wanted to go see. It was one of her little friends, and I guess they were waiting at the end of the thing, because if it's who I think it is, then they are the cousin to our neighbor. And so he knows the area because his cousins live here. And so like I think it was him she was sneaking out to meet. So I think he was up at the driveway and she hopped out the little window and then climbed back in. Like, you little shit. At least you were close to the house. At least you were safe and nearby and not like roaming the dangerous streets or something like crazy person. So at least she was nearby and close. But like, darn it, kid. It's just that like I'm awake all hours of day and night, and so like if she had gone past me in the front door, I would have seen it. So she knows. Yeah. And plus, ever since she was little, I could tell where she is in the hallway by which floor creaked and what tone it creaked. And I'd be like when she was little, it's funny as hell because she didn't realize it, and I'd hear the sound because there's a sound because on the other side of this wall was where her room was when she was little. And like I'd be in the front over here in the dining area or something. This used to be, I guess this is still a second living room, but I sleep in here because my back is fucking shit. The mattress isn't cutting it. But so I would be in here doing something, and I would hear the sound of the board next to her door. That like you step off the bed, take 2 steps, and you hear that sound. And so I knew where it was. I was like, "You need to get back in bed." She goes, "How do you do that?" Little footsteps running back to bed. So it always amazed her that I knew how to do that. There's only it's a very narrow spot in the hallway where you can walk that it won't do that.
Making a noise, yeah.
Side, and then part way over, you got to move over to this side, and then you got to do. So yeah, it's like So if you don't know the spots to walk, even sometimes I miss it. But then again, I'm not really trying to sneak through the house. But old houses have their benefits if you know what to listen for. They can help you keep an eye on the kids or an ear on them because
100%.
Yeah, you hear a slight creak and you be like, "That is the creak of the bathroom door. Y'all better not be going in there to play with the water again." Like, scurry out. You're like, that's what I thought. We go to the bathroom, we wash our hands in there, we don't play. Little shits. But it's cute. And it helps me understand how my mom was, because it wasn't sounds that my mom was listening for. It was the lack of sounds.
Mm.
She said one of the number one way I always got caught getting into some shit is because I would be extra fucking quiet. Because suddenly the house was quiet. I wasn't giggling. I wasn't talking. I wasn't doing this. She suddenly realized the house was dead quiet. She's like, "Oh shit!" Because me at 3 years old, like if I'm quiet, it's on. Like I'm in some shit. And in New Orleans, some of the houses they have like cabinets way up high, up by the ceiling. And they're a lot of them are kind of almost vaulted ceilings. They're kind of high up. And I remember, and I actually do remember doing this. So it's crazy because that would have been almost 39 years ago. 39 or 38 years ago. I actually remember doing this. Is I was doing my best to pick up and put one of the kitchen chairs up onto the table. And then get up on the table, then get up onto that so I could try to reach that cabinet way up there. Because all the cool shit I would get from like the Mardi Gras parade, well, they'd have parades for just because it's a fucking Wednesday, you know. But Mardi Gras parades, all the kinds of parades would be all kinds of little water gun toys, beads, all kinds of cute dumb shit. And it was stashed up here because I would make a mess all over the house with these toys and all these little trinkets. And so this was like my mom called it the cabinet of last resort, I think, or the last resort. Where it was like the last place you'd be able to hide anything from me because it's so high up. She caught me climbing up there, getting into it. I actually remember I got in there and I was actually chilling and peeking out of the cabinet, looking around. I managed to get up in there. I was hiding up there like it was like a little watchtower. And she was like, "Oh my God!" I remember that shit. Oh my God, that was funny. Not to her, but it was funny to me. To like got in trouble.
Good times, eh?
Yeah, that's why I tried taking names on Dee Dee because I remember how I was. The more you told me I couldn't do something, by gum.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh no. I don't think I can contend with that. I need to find a different way.
Nice.
My daughter is too much like me in that department. She's got sass and like resolve.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell her. You tell her she can't.
She gotta do it.
There's gonna be some malicious compliance or something.
Facts.
And I don't want to see her spark taken because sometimes that kind of spark is what gets you through life. It's what might help create a revolution. Is having a spark in you that's resistant. And I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The world might need it someday.
Absolutely, 100%. 100%.
Darn it, it's 9:00. I am gonna have to go and make some kibbles.
No problem. It was a
but
pleasure.
I had lots of fun hanging out with you. So glad you
Oh, yeah.
came.
Yeah, we definitely do it again. Next time I'll get the time right.
Oh, do you want to drop your link in the chat?
No, I just told Bigger for the entertainment, guys. You know, I'm not really about me. It's just coming and hanging out with you tonight.
Well, right on, but I mean, you're awesome. I want other people to know it too.
I appreciate it. It's Bigger for the entertainment is the channel, the name underneath. You know, we do some stuff over there, and we do a lot of stuff that she was doing here, talking about that clown Donald Trump. You know, so.
Yeah, I was really hoping I wouldn't sound like I was getting on the fuck Trump bandwagon because I don't like sounding like everybody else. And I don't jump on hype just because of the hype, you know. But at this point, I'm like,
you can't help it anymore,
right? But it's kind of. I mean, to be fair, it's fuck all of them though, because they're all.
Yeah.
You said he was going to drain the swamp. No, you just changed out what creatures were in the swamp. You didn't drain it. You just put your creatures in there, dude.
Agreed.
And now Cash Patel, supposedly Cash Patel is now threatening to resign because of Pam Bondi. And I'm like, is he really? Because she's only doing what Trump tells her. So is he really? Or is he didn't realize how corrupt the whole thing really was and wants to quit? Maybe. And that's just the spin they're giving it. Because they're trying to put this all on Pam Bondi. And it's like, there's no fucking way. It's not all on Pam Bondi. There's no way. She's an idiot. Don't get me wrong. But like, she didn't do this by herself. You know, she had mentioned she was waiting for, you know, for Trump and all the rest of them to release those documents to her. So let's put this blame squarely where it belongs, on all of them fuckers. All of
And Trump is an idiot too, right? And I
Oh,
think there's a lot of people in his ear telling him what to do because I don't think he's smart enough to do all of this stuff he's
his
trying to
handlers,
pull.
his
Yeah,
fucking handlers.
100%. Yeah, the ones that spent so much money on his campaign and shit.
Oh, yes. 3 million, I think. Or, well, actually, no, that was
Well,
another. Hold on, it was actually close to 100 million. Actually,
yeah, yeah.
because there's
Elon
that
Musk
feedback tracker.
himself. Yeah, yeah. Elon Musk himself was like 200 and something million or something like that. He spent
Right.
a lot, you know.
So yeah, the 100 million was just from APAC. That's not
Yeah.
including everybody else's money. But
Mhm.
yeah, I low key am entertained by Elon Musk because before, right, like a week or so before this Epstein shit hit, he was like,
Mhm.
Donald Trump's not going to release it because he's on it. And I'm like, I love it when rich people start fighting with each other in public.
Oh, 100%. Those two beefing back and forth together.
It was making my day. I was like, ha.
Yeah, classic.
I was like,
Yeah.
because he did seem like he was kind of on drugs when he was around Trump. And I'm kind of worried because some people do take ketamine as treatment. So, but it can also make people in the right conditions probably a little more malleable and go along with shit they might not have otherwise gone with. So maybe he sobered up and realized, what the fuck am I doing? And like started throwing the tea out there. And I'm like, hey, at least he's better than not learning at all, I guess.
Facts.
I mean, I'm not saying he's a good person. A lot of people get into fights because they assume there's a good guy and a bad guy in any given situation. No, there is quite possibly you have two different kinds of assholes in the same situation. You just got to pick which asshole you want to root for at that particular moment. Absolutely. When I agree with Iran with like some of the situation going on right now. It doesn't mean I think Iran's a good country in general or that I like their rules the way they act. Absolutely not. They're a bunch of fuck shits. But this particular situation, you can't call something a preemptive strike and call it self-defense at the same time. That's silliness. And so Iran has a point in that. I mean, technically they are a sovereign country that should have a right to defend itself if that's what's going down. And they had taken quite a few shots before they started doing anything. I mean, last year, didn't they? I think Israel took a shot at their embassy, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year, year before, because it's been a fucking solid mess since 2023. So, it started to blur a little bit. But yeah, sometime in 2024, they took a shot at their embassy, and they were like, and everybody's like, and Israel's like, they try to claim they didn't do it at first. I'm like,
we know, yeah.
That's wild. Y'all always say y'all didn't do it. And they're like, yeah. It's like Dave Chappelle could wrote something like that. You remember that? Oh yeah, I remember when it was a Rick James thing, and they were interviewing him, and he goes, "I did not kick my shoes all over his couch." And the next second he goes, "Yeah, I put my shoes all over his couch."
Yeah.
And they rewound it to show that's what they did. We didn't bomb them. Hell yeah, we bombed them. We had to do it first to defend yourself. And they were like, "What the fuck? You just said you didn't." I'm like, "Oh my god."
Well, now everybody's doing that with the Epstein stuff, right? They're going back and clipping out Trump talking about, "Oh yeah, we're gonna put it all out there and blah 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 blah." And I guess he's seen his name on the list, so said, "Nope, we can't put that out there."
That's so crazy. He ran on that, and some people are starting to turn their back on him now a little bit. They're like, "That's fucked up." And I'm like, finally, I wondered if there was a line y'all wouldn't cross. I did wonder because y'all, but there's some that are like, he's got his reasons, or this, that, and the other. I'm like, you're excusing some pedo shit now. That's what you're doing, boy. Because if you're ever curious or wondering if you're like in a cult, or if you're brainwashed or got that cognitive dissonance, you have to be honest with yourself and go, how far am I willing to follow this person? Is there certain things that they could do that I wouldn't follow anymore? You have to ask yourself this. If you can't think of anything that would stop you from following somebody, you need help. You need absolute shock therapy. Because, I mean, I was already drawing the line at the endless wars we're facing when we were promised none of that. And then him protecting Epstein's bullshit. I mean, to be fair, my baseline is I generally hate everybody anyway, and then it gets better or worse depending on behavior from there. So I didn't have any sentimental attachment to this fucker in the first place. But I just didn't want to. I didn't want to sound like a classic leftist. Just like flip Trump. You know, like I'm like,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, at this point, they're correct. I mean, I wish they had been so on board because now the left is really on board about the Epstein stuff when they really weren't before. When there was talk that Biden might be on there, I'm like, no, I need consistency, folks. I need consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if someone is
Okay.
fucking with kids and being a weird pedo, we need to be willing to condemn them no matter what party. Let's be fair, folks. Like, I try to be fair across the board and hate everybody, and it just progressively gets worse depending on their actions and behaviors. So, like, that's why I didn't vote last time. Because the person I did want to vote for, she wasn't allowed to be on our ballot in Oklahoma, which I was pissed about. So I didn't vote because that whole lesser of the evils, you still end up with blood on your hands, and I'm not here for that.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, like, no. Because what's her name is fucking terrible. Harris, she's fucking. I think they got to her because her shit was weird. Like, if you saw her campaigning, she was like rude to people. It was like she was going through the motions. She wasn't really trying to win anybody over. I think they got to her so she wouldn't put up a fight against Trump. She acted, and because I figured she must have acted bad enough that it would push everybody toward Trump. Even people who normally would not have voted, because she didn't make it sound like she was going to end wars, but he was going to. And everybody's like, well, fine, okay. Now, like, at that point, they were actually being somewhat consistent. They were trying to go for one that was ending war. And I'm like, all right. And then he didn't. And I'm like, his handlers won't let him because they want to expand their land and pull out, throw out all the people.
Absolutely.
That's why what's his name is always over in DC visiting Trump like every month.
Yep.
The handler is coming to check on his investments.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Our country does not belong to us anymore, and it hasn't in a long time, but it's just so glaringly obvious now. It's just so extra in your face. It's kind of stunning. And not in a good way, but it's fucking stunning.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree.
I even got this really cool conversation with this guy earlier today. I went by the dollar store because it's fucking handy, and because I don't want to pay $13 for socks. So and there's this guy, and I always see him out there, and he's got his dog, and sometimes he has like a grocery cart. This time he has a stroller with putting all his stuff in there because the cops tore up his tent. You know how it goes, fucking shitbag cops. Anyway, it was a little warm out. It was cloudy, but it was a little bit warm out. So I'm like, I'm going to stop and see if he's got water. I'm like, do you have water for you and the dog? Because he's got his dog with him. And he comes around to hear me because it's a 2001 truck. So I can't roll the window down from the driver's side. So he had to come around. And we ended up chatting for like 40 fucking minutes about shit going on. And like politics and everything. Some of the stuff that he kind of heard about, but not much because he doesn't have social media. So he's like, I don't even have a phone. I'm like, damn, how do you do that? Oh, shit.
That's good.
Dude's living in 1996 right now. It's crazy. So like I mentioned Epstein. He goes, who's Epstein? I was like, he is a bad guy who was caught sex trafficking girls. And he's like, okay, gotcha. I figured I'd just shorten it down. It's just Cliff Notes it just because I was getting something. And I was talking about how Trump, because I told him I was going to do my little podcast tonight. He goes, you going to talk shit about Trump? And I'm like, I talk shit about everybody who fucking deserves it. He just happens to deserve it as well. And he's like, that's fair, okay, yeah. I was like, yeah, I don't hate Trump just because he exists. I hate all of them for all the horrible shit they've done to people.
Great.
I was really hoping that Trump wouldn't do this. I really did. And it's not because I like Trump or anything, because honestly, if you're rooting for your leader to fail, that could mean that your country fails too. And I don't want us to fail. But it looks like it's being failed from the inside out. And and that's a shame. Like, my dad taught me how to have some dignity when losing, because in 2008 there was what was his name? McCain, Obama, and Hillary, I think. And there was no way I was voting for Hillary. She's a fucking nutcase. Fuck that bitch. And Obama, he just kind of popped up out of nowhere. Like, I had never heard of this guy before. But McCain I had heard of. And I was young then, so I didn't know any better. But I voted for McCain because, he had been a POW and all this. And I thought hey, who better to maybe keep us out of wars than somebody who understands how terrible war can be? That was my rationale to it. Turned out he's a fucking shit too, and I'm like, well, damn, that's a vote I'm embarrassed about. There was no good choice in that situation. Damn it. I hope the veteran would be the one that'd be less likely to want to cause more veterans, to come back fucked up. That was my hope. That was what I was going for. So
usually it's either candidate, whichever one you're going for. It's usually always someone messed up. You know what I mean? They talk like they have a good game, and then they're all the same. They're all the same.
Well, Obama talked a better game than McCain did.
Yeah,
but I was trying to see past that and trying to look for some realness, that specific realness that I was looking for in that, because I've been very anti-war for quite a long time. I wasn't pro-war in 2002 when the Afghan shit was kicking off, but I wasn't fond of the idea. But I was a little more understanding of it because I only heard what I was being told,
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, that's wild. I mean, we, if we're attacked, we obviously can't stand for it, but what do you mean you're protecting my freedoms over there? How did my freedom get over there in Afghanistan? Like, what?
Right.
So that sounded weird to me. Like, that sounds like a weird buzz term to use. Like, that's how are my freedoms over there? If they're protecting my freedom, shouldn't they be here? Because I still didn't trust my government even then. I didn't realize how quite bad it was. Now I do, obviously. But even then, I wasn't pro-war. I understood it. I was like, I accepted it a little more, I should say.
Yeah.
So, but now I'm like, but ever since I started realizing that the hippies were right, that it really was about oil and all this, once I realized they were actually right, I was anti-war at that point and stayed that way. Because really all wars are bankers' wars.
Agreed.
And so once I realized that, I've been anti-war. It doesn't matter who's in office, Republican or Democrat, I don't care. Like the bodies will pile up and the coffins will be draped with flags just the same. It doesn't matter. And it's a fucking mess. So I've always tried to stay consistent. But in 2008 when Obama won, I kind of looked at my dad, I guess, kind of see like his reaction. And he goes, well, it's not who I hoped for, but all we can do is hope that he does a good job. And I'm like,
absolutely.
And I mean, it was still terrible. And turns out he drone struck more people than any Nobel Peace Prize winner in history. Whoops. That didn't go well. So that was a letdown. But my dad didn't throw a temper tantrum. He didn't, act the way you see people now acting. Like, he didn't do all that. He was just like, well, damn, that's not what I was hoping for, but let's hope for the best. Let's hope it goes well. He took it with class and dignity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, none of the choices would have been good. Hillary would have been probably twice as bad, to be honest. She actually probably would have been 2 or 3 times worse than Obama. By far. That woman is absolutely insane. Jesus Christ. That woman has killed... I would almost joke she's killed more people than Obama has. I would almost hazard that. And, then we turn out that McCain most likely gave away secrets so he would stop being tortured. That's why when some people didn't come back at all, he came back with a cast on his leg. And that was it. And I'm like, ooh, that does make me think someone may have snitched to save themselves. Which, I mean, I can understand how that can happen to a person. Because a person is just human, but I wouldn't run for office after that. I'd be too ashamed. Because even if nobody else knew, I would know. And I'd be so ashamed that I snitched to save myself that I would not put myself in the president's office. I wouldn't try to. I'd be too embarrassed. My own personal shame would prevent me from trying to climb the fucking ladder. You know what I mean? Because I would know. Even if no one else did, I would. And that'd be enough.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, hold on. During the first Trump administration, U.S. soldiers were being sent into Niger, was questioning how American freedoms ended up there, right? No, but it turns out it was a lot of uranium, right? That tracks. Yep. It's weird how our freedom seems to be underground, wrapped around in minerals we want. That's crazy.
Sure.
But also, because every time they do this war for our freedoms, we end up with less, actually. I don't think they're doing it right. They're going to install a democracy because democracy. And it's like, but if anyone refers to America as democracy, they'll see people are like, it's a constitutional republic. It's not a democracy. It's like, if democracy is so offensive, then why the hell are we so excited about installing it in other places?
Facts.
That seems fucking bizarre, but again, pop off, girl, I guess. Shit, crotchety old women bitching at you like that about it. Like, okay.
Mm.
Like, people lost their mind. I don't know what to do for them. Like, I feel like there's not anything I can do. Like, I tried to run for office once. I'm too broke to try again. So, like, I can't at least try, do that to try to slow this down. I don't think there's any stopping it. Unless something really insane, V for Vendetta shit fucking happens.
Mm-hmm.
Slowing down is about all I think can be done. I don't think it can be stopped at this point, sadly.
Okay.
But I was willing to try. I have America as somewhat of a holdout, trying not to give in to the rest of the silliness going on, but I was too poor.
Yeah.
It's weird. They want grassroots, but they also vote for the person who has the most money.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, y'all hear yourselves? Y'all see yourselves when you vote? Do you? Y'all are weird. They got this weird idea because they said the winners write the history books, but they also don't seem to realize that history is littered with good people that often don't make it. So, like, I guess they get this weird idea that whoever wins is the best man. It's like, nah, what? No. Or the one that has got it's giving when you kidnapped and you're held hostage, but you start like caring about your hostage taker, whatever the fuck that is.
Mm.
It's named after a town over in like Sweden or Finland or some shit. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But basically, they vote for someone they know is bad because, as one woman I heard describe it, at least we know what we get with him. And it's like, Stockholm syndrome. Thank you. It's like political Stockholm syndrome out there. Like, it's bad, but we vote because at least we know what we're getting with him. It's like, if you know you're getting what you're getting with him, and you know it's bad, and you don't think it's a good idea to maybe try something else.
For real.
I can't even with these people. Like, don't get me wrong, Ireland's got its problems too, but at least they're standing, 10 toes down and being against genocide. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, they need to straighten up their shit with other stuff, obviously. I mean, hell, if I moved there, maybe I could run for a small office there and try to do my part to try to, get, win people over and try to help get things on track or something.
Mm-hmm.
At least they seem like they'd be glad for the fucking help.
Yeah, for real.
Sadly, I don't think America. I mean, it would take something so outrageous to save America. And it actually would probably be like a reset, to be honest, because, like, there's a limit how much chlorine you could throw into the dirty water before it's just useless. You just got to empty the whole fucking thing out and fill it up again.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And they're fresh out of chlorine at this point. Like, I think they don't even have a filter. It's just it is really a swampy mess. And it's been for a long time. And Trump has just added on to the biofilm that is in this fucking swamp. Like, and honestly, if Biden was in office right now doing the same shit Trump is doing, evangelicals would have an absolute hissy.
Mm-hmm.
They would be losing their mind. Every Republican would be rioting at the gates.
Agreed.
But somehow it's tolerable because, well, this and that, and well, he's still the best choice. What makes him the best choice? Because I assume there are certain things that a person can do or not do that makes him a good choice. So if you wipe those all away, what is left that makes him a good choice? Like, I help me understand. God. Oh, Jan Perlman just came back from Ireland. She seemed to say the Irish were pretty adamant about not wanting a ton of U.S. immigrants. Well, probably depends on the kind of immigrants they're getting, because they do have some grants they're offering to foreigners a lot of people from the outside, I guess, just in general, that they have some islands just off the coast of Ireland and a few places where they have old houses and stuff that aren't being used anymore, and they will give you grants. I'm not sure what all it takes to do it, but there are certain things you can do to move there that if you are going to help restore old buildings or, fix things and help add to, their stuff. Like that's kind of stuff I'm interested in doing because I like old buildings and I like trying to make things look better and restore them. I like that.
Mm.
So I think as long as they're not, because they're probably talking about shit tons of like Americans crowding into like Dublin and like others like Wexford, Waterford, all these other places and causing the rent prices to go crazy, worse than they already are, including the fact they have a bit of a housing shortage, which I'm not entirely sure how they have managed to fuck that up the way they have. Unless, of course, I think BlackRock and Vanguard are getting their hands over there fucking up shit too, which that would do it. But yeah, I do kind of want to go check it out. I do want to go like a trip there and kind of feel it out and see about it first, because if I don't go to Ireland, I'm thinking of Albania, oddly enough. It's not far from Greece, because Greece is a nice destination spot for people. Apparently for Ted Cruz during bad storms. But Albania is like, they have a up and coming tech market going on. Like now would be like for Chris, that would be good because he likes doing tech stuff. So they're starting to come into their own with that. I think weed is legal if you have some kind of medical card. I think, or weed's not a big deal to them either way. So like he's in luck on that one. Their rent prices aren't great. Like I guess it's like anywhere else. There's some places, some parts of Albania that the prices are better than others. There was like one place that's like you can buy an apartment or like a little house for like $80,000, and I'm like, okay, that's not bad. I mean, it probably needs a little coat of paint here and there, but sounds manageable. And I looked up their politics, and their leader of Albania does not seem to be off, but he believes in a two-state solution instead of just giving Palestine back. But at least he doesn't seem to be on publicly on board for genocide. So that's one of the things I look for. So at least he doesn't seem to support that kind of silliness.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was thinking Albania, if not Ireland, which I know it sounds really kind of random, but because I have no connection to Albania at all. My family comes from Scotland and Ireland, but like I've never met anybody from Albania. So, but that the evil tentacles of the deep state are spreading everywhere. So I at least want to go somewhere that it's not yet.
Agreed. I don't blame you.
Greece government pretty corrupt and favorable to Israel. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good destination spot. I don't want to live in Greece. Although I did not know they were so favorable to Israel. It's good to know. But Albania, at least, is being a little less warmongery than America. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The red shield has spread everywhere. There's actually a really cute cartoon that talks about red shields, which apparently is what Rothschilds means. Rothschilds means red shield, apparently. I didn't know that. And actually, let me see if I can find it. It's really cute. Find it real quick. I hope it's not like copywritten or anything. I don't actually even know if it is. Let me see if I can read something on it. This came out in 2011. So last year, someone commented the YouTube algorithm decided 13 years was long enough. Well, let's see. I'll share it so everybody can go look at it. It's cute. It's called The American Dream. I thought it was called The American Dream. Now it's called Collapse of the American Dream. So I don't know. Like, I wouldn't mind showing it, but it's 30 minutes, and I don't know if anybody wants to sit around for that long. But there it is. And I forgot that like 20 minutes ago, I was going to hop off and go get food, but it's hard to stop talking to you.
I appreciate it. I'll check out that video, though.
Hey, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's kind of cute, and it's not quite a South Park vibe, but it tells the truth in a cute, digestible way. I like it.
I got you.
It's definitely like if you're definitely trying to wake people up, it's a cute way to start it off,
for sure. Next time you're doing another stream, just hit me up, man, and I'll definitely pop on.
That sounds good. I think I'm going to do a movie stream next. Like, I was looking at the movies. I have access to the new Jurassic Park and the new Superman movie, but I don't know if anybody's interested in that or not because I haven't really heard anybody talking about it. So I don't know if they're.
No, they're talking about it. Yeah, they're talking about it.
Oh, okay. Which one do you think they'll like more, Superman or Jurassic Park?
Most likely Superman. Jurassic Park wasn't that good.
Okay, because some people were saying it was, but like I don't know. But yeah, all right. I guess I'll see about putting it on for tomorrow night.
Gotcha.
And you are invited, of course. I think Raquel will be there if she's feeling all right, because I think she's been busy with some stuff. So
okay.
So
yeah, if I'm definitely free, I'll pop on.
Sounds awesome. If I set it up, I will try to remember to send the link because sometimes my ADHD gets the better of me and I end up going, oh, squirrel, shiny thing.
Trust me, like, I know. I've done streams where I was supposed to send links to certain people and I completely forgot. They're not in the group, right? So it's like, okay, I send it to the group. And then halfway through the stream, I was like, oh, damn, I was supposed to send it to this person.
Or you thought you did, you go back and you're like, oh, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, no. Like, what happened to it? It disappeared.
Yeah.
But all right, so lots of loves and hugs to the chat. Let's scroll up a bit. Oh, my mouse is not working correctly. It's been kind of acting wonky lately. I can't scroll properly. It scrolls weird because, like, if I go to where my volume is, it will try to scroll to turn the volume up. And like if I go to like my Facebook stories, we see everybody's story, and I go up to it, it starts scrolling through them without me touching the mouse, and I'm like, I can't figure out what's happened. I don't know what's going on with the mouse. Maybe I have to get another one. But lots of hugs to Roadkill, and to Fry TV, and to Acme, and to Daniel Barry, and to, of course, our darling Brett. So thank you all for coming to visit us. And I will try to set up the movie thing for either tomorrow or the next day. It'll be at 7 o'clock because 7 o'clock seems like to be the perfect time for me. I don't know why. Although it seems like less people are showing up, so maybe I need to change the time thing. Because I was trying to figure out what would make YouTube happy. If I do it too early, nobody shows up. If I do it too late,
nobody shows up. Yeah, I know.
And now it's not working. I'm like, I don't know where to go with this now.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, when's the best time to do it? You got to pick the right day, the right time. It's crazy.
Yeah. The wind's got to blow just right, you know? But like, yeah. But yeah, like today I had like 4 people. I was like, damn, usually I have 7. Like, that's rough. Because usually it would never let me get more than 7. Like, it might be different people, but somehow it's always about 7. This time it was like 3 or 4. I was like, damn, that's rough. I'm going to have to try to find a new way. Although they'll suppress me either way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, me too, because of the stuff I talk about too, right?
Right. Yeah, a lot of times I don't even get notifications when you're coming on. I have to go to the thing and then go to live to see who all is live right now. Then I find you. But like, I generally don't get a notification telling me that you're live, even though I am subscribed to you. So I'm like, you know, so yeah, they're doing it to you and me as well.
Yeah. It is what it is, you know. At the end of the day, I never thought I was going to get rich doing YouTube. So,
well, yeah. Well, I knew I wasn't going to get rich doing it, but I wanted to, I guess, sound the alarm and warn as many people as I could about.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But
I think that they know that's why we're doing it, not because of the money. They know they can't threaten us with the money because that's not what we're here for.
Exactly.
And so they're like, okay, we just got to like just push their stuff at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. That's believable.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But lots of hugs to everybody. I'm sad I don't have our little song to play us out because they have my song hostage and they want me to pay them, and I'm not fucking doing that.
Facts. And I appreciate you inviting me. It's always fun hanging out with you.
It's always good to have you. And so lots of hugs to everybody. And we shall see you on the flip side.
Peace.